Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. The day is August 27th, 2023, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the Russell 2000 on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only. As we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is actually suitable for you. Let's just jump right over here to the charts and see what's been happening this past week. On the quarterly chart, we still got our red quarter. We're still underneath pivot. And we did kind of break pivot and come right below pivot. On the Russell here, the Russell is having a hard time getting above pivot and staying there. And on the monthly chart, right quick, we went up above our one level, came right back down below that. We are staying above the 10, so we are staying bullish and stuff on the Russell. But it's one that's been struggling. The Russell is the one that can actually do the sideways action on you, and this is what it's doing. On the weekly chart, let's take a closer look at that. The weekly chart, you can see how it oscillates and all. So that's it. It's doing what it does. We have to zoom in and take a closer look at that. And on the daily chart, the big thing on the daily chart here, this thing was expecting this thing to keep dropping, and then it started basing. And the other thing that's kind of wondering what's happening on the Russell, it made a doji here. And this past Friday on this right here, I'm wondering, was that the bottom for the Russell? And now it's ready to actually, from this basing that it was doing, consolidation that it was doing, instead of basing and dropping, it's going to actually base and run up a little bit and rally a little bit. So I'm wondering what's going to happen here. I have to kind of like wait and see. Or it can just go up a little bit and come right back down. Because it looks like I don't know if it's, and another thing here on the Russell, kind of hard to tell if it's going to open above pivot or below pivot. Last week, when I said below pivot and stay below pivot, it did just that. Now this coming week, it's kind of like going to have to see when this thing open and see what happens. All right, but let's zoom in a little bit and take a closer look at and see what's been happening here. And wrap this on up. Okay, on the quarterly chart, let's zoom up. Man, what did I just do? Let's maximize it like this. Maximize and do that. What? I must have two pictures here or something. What's going on? What I'm doing. Maximize and do that. There we go. Don't know what was going on there. Might have had another chart back there. All right, I am tired. I did 100 miles not 100. I did 100 miles over the 2 days. 62 miles yesterday on the bike, and 40 miles a day. I got a 100-mile weekend. I haven't done that in a while. I'm getting back to where I want to be. 100 miles on the weekend, 100 miles during the week. That's enough about my biking. And that's bicycling. All right, what we're looking at here on the Russell on the quarterly chart, we got that red quarter. We're staying below pivot, like I expect to see. The stochastic can go sideways like this. We know. The thing is, my levels have been holding out, my bottom level and my top level, so that looks good there for me. On IWM here. On the Russell here again, we're getting that red month that we expected to get. We got above pivot here on these quarterly pivots and all. We went up to an R1 level, peaked above that, and then this last week we actually came back down because we was up at our level where we're supposed to come back down, and we came right back down to pivot. And this is the month. On the month, that's what we've done. And on the month, we actually bouncing here off this pivot and all, and that's another reason why I'm saying I think the low that we made this past on the daily that we'll be looking at here in a second. This is the weekly. This low right here may have been our low. But looking at the stochastic, we're still at the top, and this thing can still drop. So let's see what's going to happen. As you probably could tell, I'm still a little bearish in the market when it comes to the Russell and all. So I'm trying to see if this thing is going to play out like it can play out. But as we can see, when it comes to stochastic, it's just an indicator. It's indicating to you what is happening, not what will happen. So make sure you have that right in your head and all. And based on what we're seeing on the action, price action right here, this thing act like it doesn't want to go below this level right here. It's not even getting close to this level. This where it came out of this consolidation down here and went up, and based a little bit here and went up. It's right here in this little area fighting right now, and see what it's going to do. Let's take a quick look at the daily chart and wrap this on up. This is what really got me on this daily thing. This market didn't really even go anywhere last week. It was fighting below pivot, just like I've seen plenty of time. But why won't I trade it like I should trade it to the downside, a below pivot and stand below pivot? It did exactly what we expected to do. This low that it made, it actually broke this previous low of previous Friday and all, and went lower. So that was kind of a good looking thing and all. But here on the daily stochastic and all, it looks like we had a low. But we notice stochastic, and just all it does is indicate to us what's happening. This thing can actually hang out down here, for a while. And with this doji created here, but we can see on this Russell, this doji, it can go red or it can go green. Doji here, you was expecting it to go up, and it actually went down. Well, you was kind of expecting it should have went down, but it didn't go down that far. It took all week. It just went sideways last week. That's the whole thing. Last week wasn't really that much on the Russell when it comes to making a move like it has been making. It kind of based and all. But scalping, you could have done pretty well. It's making enough to make money there. And that's all I really want to share here on the Russell. Again, this is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys having a great weekend. And I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. Bye.